thank you again for joining me in a new video. I feel like this is a video that, now that I've been flying the amount of time I have, I can not only talk about but speak from a genuine place with a real experience. And you guys know that I'm a positive person. I absolutely still to this day love my job. I still have never had one of those days where I'm like, I can't do this, I hate my job, I don't understand why I'm doing this. I still don't feel that way, but as positive as a person as I am, as much as I love this job, there are still days where I'm just like, what in the world? Like, there are so many things and aspects to this job, and I think I've seen everything under the sun, because once you fly for years, you're like, oh yeah, I've seen it all. There's always something around the corner and some unexpected thing and situation that is thrown at you that you're like, what in the world? I swear, when people come into these airports and come onto the planes, the person that they are on the ground in a stable environment, they're not that way when they fly at all. So with that, I do want to talk about some of the cons of being a flight attendant. Oh, I don't know. I don't think she's ever been in a video. Say hi. Hello, my baby Daisy. She's in my room. So if you guys see a little dog walking around in the background, that's her. But yeah, anyways, some of the cons of being a flight attendant. I have my little list here for this because these were some that I felt like I really needed to point out and stress on. And they're things that I have experienced, every single one of these things on the list. The first one is jet lag and being tired all the time. This is a major con of your job, and it's something that's inevitable. It's something that you cannot help. You cannot stop it, no matter how much you drink your vitamins. Drink your water and take your vitamins, eat healthy. There's something about being inside of a pressurized tube that often at that altitude, constantly up and down. Even if you do the international thing and you're only doing one leg up and just working a long flight, it doesn't matter. It takes a toll on your body. And just being a flight attendant and having to rip and run as much as we do, we get tired. It's inevitable. And it's not really things that you can do to always combat this. Obviously you want to be as healthy as you can, but it's still, you still have those days where you're like, what in the world? Like, it's just, it can be very tiring. Another thing is wanting to stay in quite often. I know people think, oh my goodness, you're a flight attendant, you have these benefits, you can literally non-rev to anywhere in the world that you want to when you feel like it. But the thing that they don't understand is on our days off, a lot of times we don't want to do anything. The last thing we want to see is an airport. The last thing we want to think about is a plane or traveling or going anywhere. We're like, I just want to stay in my bed all day. Like, please don't disturb me. And that's just, once again, another thing that just kind of comes with it. You think you're just gonna want to go all the time, and in the beginning you might, but then you start getting into your routine and seeing, wow, like, I'm really tired. So you just want to stay home in your bed, curled up with a cup of tea, watching Netflix, not doing anything. Another thing is that not having days off, especially when you're junior. This is something that just kind of gets better over time, but in the beginning you think, okay, I'm gonna be a flight attendant, you know, I'm not working as much as the average person. I might only work 15 to 18 days out of the month. I might be on reserve a month, then be off for an entire month. But really and truly, the days off that you want, you might need a day off for a wedding that your friend is in. You might need a day off for a graduation or for an anniversary, and you aren't guaranteed that. Essentially, you want your schedule to be how you want it to be, but there is no guarantee of that. And with the way each airline works and with the way scheduling works, a lot of times you're not guaranteed the days off that you want. Now, there are ways to maneuver and get it off. Please don't think that all hope is gone if you need a day off or something crazy. I actually flew with a lady who was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be off for my wedding, like, I need someone to pick this trip up, and someone did, for me to be off for that. And it's just, it can be crazy. So do take that into consideration as well, because that can be a major con for people, is not having weekends off that they need, or a certain day off of the week. Or there are flight attendants that are in college and doing this, and they might need to be to a class for a certain day. So do keep that in mind as well, because it can be crazy to try to adjust and move things around to get days off that you need. Daisy, you can't be in the video. Con of this job is that it can be stressful, and you are having to interact with a lot of people. And when people are traveling and on vacation and going certain places, sometimes tempers run high, and patience runs thin. So being a people's person is essential with this job. You can't really apply and do this if you're like a standoffish, like not wanting to deal with people type. Like, obviously everyone has their days where they're not as excited about having to get up in front of 100 people and do the safety demo as other days. Like, we still have things going on in our personal lives. We still have days where we're sick, where we might have cramps, where we might just not be feeling it. So essentially you have to always push past all of that and get up and do what you have to do whenever you come to work. Now, this is with a flight attendant, with any customer service job. So for those who are waitresses, for those who work at hotels, for those who are sitting as a receptionist at an office, like, you have your days where you're just like, I don't want to have to smile, but you still have to push through it and smile. And that's just one of those things where, you know, you can't really help that. You can't do anything about that. So do keep that in mind as well, especially with being a flight attendant. When people are missing connections and when they're not going to get to their destination on time, they're asking a million questions, sometimes things that we didn't directly have anything to do with, but you're still expected to talk to that customer and to interact with them and let them know what's going on. So keep that in mind as well, because that can be stressful. Getting sick, that's another thing. I know I talked about it a little bit previously in a video about junior flight attendants, but getting sick is kind of inevitable towards the beginning, but I have heard across the board so many times with people that it gets better over time. Now with me, I'm almost 2 years now, and I got really sick at one point while I was flying and still having to work, and now my immune system has like shaken back better than ever. I still have this period, like 1 week out of the month, where when the seasons change for springtime and for fall time, where I'm like, it's always happened to me ever since I can remember, and that still happens. But as far as like being severely ill, even when people are coughing and sneezing and all that on the plane, I really don't get sick that often. But that is a major thing, especially with being trapped in a metal tube 30,000 feet in the air. Essentially, you're going to come into contact with people and their germs, and it's important to do everything that you can to combat it. We do have like hand sanitizer and gloves and things like that on the plane so that you don't really have to touch people if you don't want to, but still be on guard and be really precautious as you can. And not just with being regular sick, being homesick. When you first sign up for this job, you're thinking about how much you're going to travel, but you're going to be away a lot. And if you're a family person, or if you have puppies, like me, say I'm being a big baby. If you have a family and loved ones, essentially being away from them for a period of time when you're at training or when you're on a trip, it can be tough. I have heard of airlines that you go on a trip for 15 days. I cannot imagine a 15-day long trip at all. Like, the thought of that, sometimes on a 3-day, I've had 3 days that turned into 4 days, and by the 4th day I'm just like, no, get me away. Like, so I can't imagine being gone for those long, like 6-7 day trips, but it does happen. You are away, and it is something that you need to mentally as well as pack for, prepare yourself for. So if you're a person who gets really homesick easily, I don't really know exactly like what kind of advice to give for that. Like, obviously you still have your phone on you, so it's important to communicate with your friends and family and your loved ones, all of those people. Like, you know, talk to them as much as you can. FaceTime's great as well, but really and truly you have to get into that routine and get used to being gone. If you're a flight attendant who your base, you might leave but come back to your base every night. That is an option that could work for you. So keep that in mind as well when you're choosing your airlines. Some airlines, you are gone on trips and you have to leave and stay the night in that city, but there are options where you can do turns. So you leave at a base, come back to base every night, and then there are options where you might live where you're based at, so you can be home every night. So do take that into consideration as well if you maybe started a family recently or something, to choose a base and choose an airline that fits for your lifestyle. I know a lot of people get caught up on certain airlines and only wanting to work for a certain company, but do think about the life that you're going to be living as well. If it doesn't tune in and line up with everything that you believe in and everything that you need to live the life that you want, then maybe, you know, pick and choose on that as well. I put starting a new relationship and having family, but I think I pretty much kind of talked about that. There's a lot of downtime on this job, and this is one that I didn't really think about too much when I applied, because I thought you were just going to be go, 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 and essentially I still am. But there are a lot of times where I'm on a trip and we have these sits in between our legs. So maybe I've flown from Atlanta to Pittsburgh and then Pittsburgh back to Atlanta, and now I have 3 hours before I work my Atlanta Salt Lake flight. So I'm just like, all right, got 3 hours. So usually with me and how I am, during that time I'll edit, I will call, text anyone I need to, respond to emails, comments, that type of thing. All right, Daisy, I know, I'm sorry, guys. And I will catch up on my Netflix subscriptions, Hulu, that type of thing. So with this job being so go, 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 that is true. All right. That is true. Right, okay, sorry. You are on the go and you are gone a lot, but essentially you do have times where you're like having downtime and sitting and in the airport not doing anything. So I think this is one thing that people don't really think about when they do have this job. They just think that they're going to be gone all the time, but you have a lot of time where you're just on the go. And airplane food is another, to me, con of this job. Now, it's not something you think too much about. After a while you just kind of become used to it, really. A lot of people do pack their food. That is always an option, but I find myself, even though I do pack my lunch and bring it with me on trips now, I still eat quite a bit of airplane food, and I try to go for healthier options, but that can add up. Now, I'm a person who can spend an excessive amount on food and do it and not feel bad. Like, I order room service sometimes and my bill can be outrageous, and I order food like at the hotel and go downstairs and pick it up once I get to my layover. And I like food, so I'm like, oh, this is fuel for my body, you know, my choice. I have a wing addiction, judge all you want, but I'm not going to feel bad about it. So just eating on the go and just that constant, like, having to eat in the airport and eat in the terminal and eat on the plane, and the cleaners are coming on, cleaning in between trips, and you're having to go in the aisles and sit in the seat and eat. Like, it can kind of be like, oh, this is annoying, but you do kind of get used to it. But that is another thing with this job, trips, and you're having to go in the aisles and sit in the seat and eat. Like, it can kind of be like, oh, this is annoying, but you do kind of get used to it. But that is another thing with this job that you do have to deal with. Living the hotel life, let me tell you, you are in hotels all the time. Now, this is something I prefer and I actually really enjoy, because even though I do tidy up and make sure that my hotel room is pretty clean and everything, some people don't like it. Some people don't like being in hotels because they can't sleep in a bed that's not their own, or they feel like, you know, I'm homesick. I can't be comfortable in this. So you are in hotels a lot, and that's just, I mean, that's inevitable, really. So there's nothing that you can really do about that. So just, that's another thing to also consider. If you're a person who does not like to be on the go a lot, being a flight attendant is definitely not for you at all. Okay, now I'm not a morning person at all. I'm not apologetic about it. I don't try to be a morning person anymore. I have tried it. Sometimes when I'm on call or whatever, it's inevitable that I get an early sign-in, but essentially I swap all my things to be 11 a.m. or later, just because I know myself. So it can be inevitable. If you are on reserve especially, or if you are junior, you might not have as much of a say-so with your schedule, so this might be something you experience, and it's something that you need to learn to adapt to and just deal with for the time being. So that is a con, because, you know, if you're not a morning person, or if you're a person who only likes to be up, Daisy, see what I have to deal with? I swear. But if you're a person who only likes something, your schedule might not be set that way. So essentially you have to get used to and adapt to that. She's determined. She wants to be on YouTube so bad. I told her to start her own channel, you know, but sorry. I'm the pretty passenger here, not you. The commuting struggle. All right. To everyone out there who is a commuter, my props, my hats go off to us. We are the ones. We are it's just, I have so much more respect for commuters than, oh no, okay, that sounds bad. It's not that I respect people that don't commute less. It's just commuter to commuter, we know the struggle because it's almost like we have a second job that no one else has. So shout out to you guys. But the commuting struggle can be so real, especially depending on where you commute from. For those, I know people that commute West Coast to East Coast, people that commute, I have a roommate that commutes from Atlanta to Honolulu. How she does it, I'm just like, honey, like, props to you. People that commute internationally, I'm just like, wow, like this lifestyle, you really love it to commute from certain places to your base. I have another roommate that commutes from I'm gonna mess it up, from Mexico, I'm not even gonna try to say it, but every time she comes in, because it's not very often we run into each other, but I'm like, are you still commuting? Like, how do you do this? And she's like, girl, for the job you do it, you make ends meet. But commuters, I'm just gonna leave that out there. My hat's off to us, because we rock it out, we make it work, and we're the ones who get the most stressed out about things because no one understands how unbelievably annoying it is to fly in, to know that your trip is supposed to end at a certain time, and then something on the last leg happen and you're like, I'm getting the last flight out, I have my seat, if we don't make it into base at 10:33, I'm screwed because I still have to wait for every single passenger to get off and do all my checks and stuff before I can get to my gate, and I'm trying to catch my flight home too. And last but not least, no consistency. If you are looking for a job that is consistent, where you walk into the office, you see the same faces, you say hi to Julia, you go get coffee with Greg, and then you say goodbye to all of your friends at 5 p.m. every day, honey, not the job for you at all. There's no consistency. You work with different people every trip. Different pilots, different gate agents, different cleaners, different ramp people, different maintenance. Every single trip, there's something going on and you're introduced to all kinds of different people. Do you mind? Told you, she's determined to be on YouTube. So there's no consistency with this job. So if you need some consistency in your life, if you need some kind of routine, maybe think about pursuing another career, because even if you do fly the same trip, if you're that senior mama or senior papa that can hold what you want and you fly every Tuesday and you fly with the same people and you fly the same route, your trip is still going to be different every single time. There's still crazy things that happen, and IROPS and mechanicals and weather and all kinds of things that happen. So if you're looking for a consistent job, I definitely recommend choosing another career, because this is the most inconsistent thing I've ever done in my entire life, and I love it. But yeah, those are some of the cons of being a flight attendant. There's more that I could come up with. So if you guys wanted to see a part 2 of this video, feel free to leave it down below or thumbs up this video so I'll kind of see that you guys are wanting that. And last but not least, thank you so much. My shirt, I didn't mean to like grab my boobs. I don't want to mess up her name, but she sent this shirt to me and I thought I would just shout her out real quick. She didn't ask me to or anything on my channel, but I really like this shirt. So her Instagram name is _what-you-say, and I'll link it down below as well. And it's cute. I love that it's a fly girl, and I love that the plane, like this is a plane. It's cute. But yeah, anyways, follow me on all my social media. Everything will be linked down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.